Are you tired of hearing about these skimpy little pocket knives that can only do so much? Well, a big folding knife is the perfect antidote to this proliferation of smaller pocket knives today, and these are some of the greatest of all time. Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the KnifeCenter, and the reason those 3 to 3¼ plus inch blade lengths are so popular these days is, I think, for most people out there, that's all the knife that most people want or need. But there are times when this just isn't going to cut it, and at those times you need a bigger knife. Now, in most cases, you want a fixed blade. At least that's my opinion. If you want something that's truly heavy duty, nothing beats, especially full tang fixed blade strength. But you can't always carry that around on you on your person, for reasons. So we got some folding options here for you. Let's go back a little bit first though, to the Buck 110. This might not seem like the largest knife nowadays, especially compared to the rest of the stuff on this table, but for the majority of the population, this is a pretty big knife. I mean, this is a 3 3/4 inch blade, and its heft is only reinforced by the heavier handles, the brass with wood inlays. $65, made in the USA. This thing has been a hardworking icon for a long time. Indeed, they described this initially as a folding knife that could do the work of a fixed blade. It's got extra reach, and it's still going strong today. It's affordably priced too for an American-made knife as well. 420 HC steel. This is not a pocket knife though. It does come with a belt sheath, but it feels very nice as a bigger knife. This is sort of gonna lead us into some bigger things. I'm not gonna go novelty big, however. Everything on this table is a pretty usable size, even though it's big. Cold Steel, we're gonna get to them, makes some phenomenally large folders that are amazing, but they don't quite fit today's theme. Before we get to the actual list, 2 honorable mentions. The only reason I'm saying these are honorable mentions is this is a greatest video, and a knife like this ZT203 is too new. It's not established enough to have proven its place on the greatest hits list, but I think it has a shot. Let me tell you about it. We've got a 4-inch blade of M4 steel, which is tougher than most steels you will find on pocket knives. And that, along with the full liners and robust crossbar lock here, mean it can work pretty hard for a folding knife. It's still slicey enough too. It's not super chunky on the blade thickness so that it impedes regular slicing, but the balance is nice, the fit and finish is great, the action is so smooth and satisfying, and it's just got a great shape to my eye. It looks like it's something that can do any kind of task, whether it's bushcraft or tactical use or just everyday carry, and it does it with some style. $296 for this American-made knife right now. The next knife on the potential contender list is the CRKT Redemption, a Ken Onion design. $250 right now for a 4-inch Magna Cut blade made by Hogue. So it's a US-made CRKT. Hogue builds it for them, and as we all know, Hogue's quality is absolutely phenomenal. Now this knife, despite being large, definitely hides its bulk really nicely. It doesn't require a whole lot of commitment in terms of pocket space to get a big 4-inch length. And it's not double-edged, but the thickness right there at the spine is thin enough that if you were to put an edge on it, it wouldn't be out of bounds. And the whole edge would be hidden inside the handle there as well. So maybe it's safe. But anyway, awesome knives. Are they the greatest? Time will tell. Let's get to the biggest knife on the table though to start off with. And now I know I said no novelty knives, but the Extrema Ratio RAO definitely gets there a little bit, but there's a reason it's still on the list, because this has a bona fide historical significance for earning its place. It's about just under $400 right now. You got a 4.37 inch blade. The steel is N690. You've got aluminum handles. It is big and chunky. You've got this sort of crossbar style lock to it, but you pull up rather than pulling back on it. Very interesting difference. Its claim to fame, however, is its usage in certain military circles and the hardened stop pin, which you can insert right here to give yourself extra security from that blade potentially failing or the lock potentially failing. It is a true hard use, hard working knife. Also not a pocket knife. Comes with a rather robust sheath, and you can get it in this drop point or an even longer tanto blade profile. Very, very great big knife. Now we can't talk greatest big knives of all time without talking about the Strider SMF design. Here is a custom version right here, and the price is definitely steep on this. If you're, a more budget-oriented high-performance buyer, look away. A bit over $1,100 for this knife right here. You've got a Magna Cut blade, you've got a black aluminum handle and back spacer engraved, and on the back side you have a titanium frame lock, in this case with a flamed finish. You've got a big flare at the back, which gives you a lot of grip strength for holding that knife, but you've got a guarded finger choil for choking up and doing smaller work as well. The blade length is 4 inches. You are, however, not getting all of that as sharpened edge. In fact, the Buck 110 offers you a longer sharpened edge than the SMF. But this is, quite frankly, a legendary knife, and we can't talk about greatest big knives of all time without mentioning it. I said that already, but I'm saying it again because it bears repeating. What are your guys' thoughts on the SMF? For a more modern frame locking knife, we got to talk about Zero Tolerance. They made their name on big frame lock flippers, and I think the biggest feeling of the bunch, even though they do have some longer bladed models in the lineup, is the 308. We've got a big 3.8 inch blade, very wide 20 CV steel, a working finish with that stone washed finish going on. Price on this is about $356. You've got a G10 front handle, titanium frame on the back with the frame lock, really nice milling on the back right there, and the action riding on the ball bearings in this pivot, so satisfying. And check out that thwack when it lands in that locked open position. Just truly great. The pivot is actually adjustable with a box wrench as well, rather than just a standard torque. Leans into kind of that heavy duty feel of the knife. But as I said, ZT made their name on knives like this. And when we're talking like big folding knives, the two brands that inevitably rise to the top of any conversation besides Zero Tolerance is Cold Steel. And we had a bit of a split decision here in the office as we were discussing what is like the greatest big cold steel folder. Not the biggest, again, there are bigger cold steel folders, but they kind of get into a little more of the novelty factor, even if they are built really well and are built to be used. These two knives, it was a toss-up. So you guys in the comments are gonna have to vote one way or the other. Do we go with the Cold Steel Recon 1 or the Cold Steel 4MAX as their greatest big knife design? Let's talk about the 4MAX first. This version right here is about $377. It is the Elite version. S35 VN 4-inch blade, G10 handles, but you can also get it in an extremely capable Scout version for as little as about $72 right now. FRN or injection molded handles and AUS 10 blade steel, but no less built to take a beating. The thing about the 4MAX is we are getting close to that like too big, like rather than big knife, more like an extra large big knife. But it kind of pushes the boundaries of acceptability before actually crossing over into that quote unquote novelty status. This is just right. You've got that big broad blade. You've got a couple of hand positions. You could choke back and do some light chopping with this knife. And yes, the triad lock underpinning this design is strong enough to take that type of shock and vibration, surprisingly enough. You've also got the ability, if you were to supply yourself with some sort of extra pin, the ability to push a pin through the end here. It would allow some movement, but it would stop the blade if worst came to worse and that lock were to fail. I don't see that happening under typical scenarios, however. Now the Recon 1 looks small, but only when you hold it next to the 4MAX. I would argue that the Recon 1 is their most famous big knife design. 4-inch blade still on this knife, and the price is very reasonable at about $127. S35 VN, G10 handles, and that triad lock underpinning things. The knife sort of feels bigger than it is sometimes, and that is due to the handle shape. I can get all 4 of my fingers on here, no problem. Yet I've got this pretty wide area around the pivot, giving you more reach. It's still a 4-inch blade, but it's pushed away from your hand a little bit more. So you've got, what is that? An extra, almost an inch worth of reach as a result. But you can use it like a finger choil and choke up for smaller work. The blade is not nearly as thick as the Formax. It definitely has a different mission in mind. It slices a little bit better. The balance is nice. It's agile. I think makes a really compelling case to be the greatest big cold steel knife as well. Part of that is it disguises its bulk a little bit. This is a knife that is still easier to manage, if that makes sense. It still slices well. It's not as weighty in your pocket. Again, it doesn't require as big of a commitment as the Formax, and yet you have almost the same amount of sharpened edge between the two. The Formax does give you a little bit more, but it's not that far different. The price is certainly a lot nicer too when you're comparing the same steel models of these materials. Tell us, Recon 1 or Formax? But that's a good way for me to transition into the second half of this list, which is knives with big blades that hide their bulk. They're easy to use and they're easy to deploy big cutting power. The Spyderco Military II. Could have put the original Spyderco Military on it, but because we have the Military II now, might as well do the newest generation. This one right here is running about $210 US made with a Spy 27 blade on this one because, that's Spyderco's proprietary steel, and I thought, why not? Let's put the proprietary one on there. Also, it'd give me an opportunity to get another handle color on the table. The blade is 4 inches long. It is thick at the spine, but tapers all the way towards the tip. So you've got, I hesitate to say delicate precision at the tip, but you definitely have more precision capable at the tip, but the strength you need at the back when you want it. Similar to the Recon 1, I've got plenty of space for all 4 of my fingers on the knife, but I've got a guarded finger choil that I can choke up and do finer stuff, or I could even do a nice pinch grip to use that tip very nicely. We've got a 4-position pocket clip, so you can carry it whichever way you want, and the finger safe closing action compression lock that is very strong as well, and very reliable too. Definitely a big knife with the agility of a smaller blade. Next up, Benchmade, and I'm gonna go with this knife, the Presidio II. And while the Crooked River may be a bigger knife in the lineup, and the Adamas might be a similar size to this and be burlier, the Presidio pulls off a neat trick of, again, being big, but handling with the agility of a smaller knife. And the price point is really nice in Benchmade's lineup as well right now. This is a $200 knife, almost 3 3/4 inch blade, S30V, CF Elite handle material. And that is a carbon fiber reinforced nylon. It is lightweight, it is very tough, and you still have, even if it's not as outright tough as the Adamas, a knife that is built to do heavy jobs. You got full length liners. The balance on it is fantastic. It sits right there so you can move it around very nimbly. And the weight sits at a little bit under 5 ounces. So it's not featherweight for its blade length, but it feels like not a huge burden at all. You've got the finger safe closing action of the axis lock, really nice flickability, ambidextrous use, reversible deep carry pocket clip. But I think in terms of Benchmade's lineup, the price is right. You've also got the heritage. Although Warren Osborne's name is not on this second generation, because they did make kind of significant tweaks from the first, this is a knife with history in the lineup. It is a bona fide classic, and it's just been updated to keep up with the times in very nice fashion. Speaking of long-running folders with heritage, the Microtech Socom Elite. Available in manual or side opening automatic versions, this is a tactical knife legend right here. Just over 4-inch blade. This particular one, I would say it's kind of gaudy, but the camouflage is less gaudy, but you can get plainer versions or more fanciful versions like this. This one right here is about $393. About $322 is the base price right now. You've got M390 MK, highly precise rendition of M390 steel It allows Microtech to get very consistent, high performance results out of these. You've got a tapering handle towards the back, wide thumb ramp at the front, and it is a grip that's sort of built to orient the blade very aggressively when you need to wield it. It's less about kind of those, finer, more precision tasks, although it is capable of those. This thing is about point forward, leading with the tip, and being aggressive. And action is great too. Check it out. Traction inlays, glass breaker at the back, very aggressive blade, and not a huge bulk in the pocket. I know I'm kind of harping on that point, but this is a knife that is entirely usable without being humongous, without being overbearing, without being too chunky, but it still gives you true full-size big knife cutting performance. And we also, while we're on the subject of Microtech, we got to talk about the Combat Troodon. This is like the biggest out the front automatic knife that still remains like reasonably useful. Yes, I know there are bigger OTFs. I know there are big novelty OTFs out there, but the Combat Troodon, like the Socom Elite, is a tactical legend. 4 1/8 inch on the blade. This is the Tonto profile with a combo edge. You can also get, a standard double-edged blade, but I already had that type of look on the table with the Redemption, so I went for some variety. But aluminum chassis, recently re-engineered. This is the Gen 3 version. You've got a very smooth slider, very nice action, slams into place quite well. Refinements in there make the travel smoother without losing any of the kick that Microtechs are known for. Very easy as well to incorporate into your daily carry with this type of shape in the closed position. Much bigger knives on the table here that don't give you the type of sharpened length that this knife will bring to the table. Last but not least, if you're looking for something truly refined, check out the SHF from Spartan, the Spartan Harsey folder. You've got a full 4-inch drop point blade on these knives. Standard versions come in Magna Cut. Those are about $485. This version right here with both a Damascus blade and a fancier engraved handle is about $675. And that's actually the most expensive one we have on the site right now as we're filming this. So there's a bunch of stuff in between. If you guessed by the name, Spartan Harsey folder, yes, this is indeed a Bill Harsey design. His signature's right here on the back. We've got that very nice titanium frame lock, kind of classic type of construction. You see Till Valhalla on the back because this is the Viking longboat version engraved there on the front. We've got washers in the pivot of this knife. Most frame locks are going to come, or newer design frame locks are going to come with ball bearings, but this washer setup gives you a kind of more buttery, smooth action and really well suited for dusty environments. If you're going to take your, what is this, almost $700 knife and get it really down and dirty, most people may not, but it's good to know you can. This definitely has the bona fide workings of a robust knife. But again, carries nice, slices nice, doesn't ask too much of you to require you to carry the knife. Anyway, that's my list, or the list at least that we come up with today for the greatest big knives of all time. But let me know where you think I went wrong. Would you have some other knives on this? Do you like the bigger knives even? The bigger, like the Espada XL, great knife. 7-inch blade, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And if you want to get your hands on any of these knives, check out the links in the description, which will take you to KnifeCenter.com. And don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program or our Sezzle payment options at checkout so you can break up the payments on some of these more expensive knives. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's all for now. See you next time.